hatina dambudziko rakanyanya.
Aiwa, paripa zviri zvekushanda mabhosi edu nevashandi tinoshandidzana mune zvakanaka. Vanobatawo vashandi zvakanaka, zvese zvatinodawo tinoitirawo, zvavanodawo tichivaitirawo. Machallenges andakaona panapa kubva nduye parain season. Kana iri nguva yemvura inoita kuti basa ridzoke kumashure, because scaffolding inenge isingazodi kunyanya kugara pano panenge pakanyanyotota. Saka ndiwo machallenges nemadelays atinowanzosangana nawo panguva yekunaya kwemvura.
Built by Thaton Property, this remarkable development has achieved what many thought impossible. From the 2025-2026 UK-based international awards, Thaton Property received not just one, but 3 international awards for residential development, 20+ units, architecture, multiple residences, apartment/condominium projects. That is phenomenal excellence, sustainability, and innovation. Who is behind these designs?
On this project, I was looking at the construction of roads, sewer reticulation and water reticulation in the storm water.
I'm the project manager for this project, 2267 Lifestyle Estate. I'm responsible for coordinating a team of highly brilliant architects, quantity surveyors and design engineers, civil engineers.
I do civils. I am the civils clerk. I'm responsible for these yellow machines. I'm responsible for ordering everything civil that you see around here. You look at the cage pits, you look at the roads, you look at anything that is besides structural.
The role mainly here is making sure this project is done within budget, is done on time, and the desired quality is met. For us, what we did was to first of all start with one block, so that each and every challenge we face in this block, we have to learn.
The finished unit gives a clear picture of what we're doing with the other buildings that haven't been finished yet. And if you see the out of this world finish that we've done on that finished unit, it can tell you so many things about Thaton Property. Actually, it's a visual. You actually see what we can deliver as Thaton Property. It's not just like we say, but we deliver up to our promise.
The most basic thing, like for example, putting up a slab. You've done it so many times. It's the same slab, the same people, same materials. And then one day, one crazy day when everyone's running around being busy, your deck collapses. It's frustrating, you know, and you're thinking to yourself, I can't start this again. So you just need to take a break, have a joke and laugh about it. I mean, you can't undo it. So that's one of the small things. Well, it's a big thing, but yeah, small things. I've done one project with Thaton along Second Street Extension. It was one of my best projects. Then I went out and sowed my wild oats for a while. Then I heard about this project and I came back. I'm excited to be here, like really excited. I thought the opportunity for me had passed, but it's not.
The 2267 Lifestyle project is very integrated, and the way they've delivered the system, it was well coordinated. As you can see, everything is running well. It has been like this since the genesis, and from when I started with the company, it has been an exciting moment every day.
It's such a refreshing feeling to sell something that people actually appreciate.
Every detail behind this remarkable development tells a story of sustainability. Each block is solar powered by a central 50 kVA inverter and battery system servicing the individual units. This means that through a smart management system, you are guaranteed power at all times.
These cupboards, as you see them, this is not original. This is not just normal melamine boards. This is plywood, one of the best materials ever to be used in construction. The advantages of plywood, especially if we are using them in a kitchen area, is a wet area.
If we are using the plywood in the kitchen area, this is moisture resistant.
There is an air conditioning system in all apartments using a minimum amount of power where the heat exchanger takes the heat in the normal air and concentrates it, bringing it into the house and vice versa. The energy generated is used to drive the heat to heat the geyser. The whole development is energy sufficient, marking a 70% reduction in energy consumed. This is the first project with full double glazing on all doors and windows. There is a 5mm glass on both sides with a 10mm compressed gap in between the glass. The double glazing controls the temperatures, noise pollution, and also provides safety in the apartments. This is more than housing. The anti-scratch SPC floors are durable for the next 50 years. Cupboards are plywood in the kitchen area, which is moisture resistant, durable, and does not chip off. The color on the carbon crystallized doors doesn't fade because of the permanent PVC film layer. Practical beauty built to endure. On this lifestyle estate, you will find a mini golf course, paddleball court, saunas, steam rooms, swimming pool, gym with techno-fitted equipment, clubhouse, braai facilities, and children's play area. Inside, excellence lives in every corner. Every apartment has a balcony fitted with a gas braai, a kitchen fully fitted with Smeg appliances, dishwashers, microwave, oven, extractor, fridge, taps, sleek, modern, and uniform. It's a lifestyle, one that respects people, community, and the planet. Speaking of respect, there is that aspect of a balance of gender, women empowerment.
This is a brilliant and prestigious project that I've ever seen in Zimbabwe, one of the best.
In terms of investment, Thaton property or 2267 Lifestyle Estate is the only estate or where you can get a mortgage term for 5 years buying in an exclusive residential estate like this.
I joined the 2267 project when I was under Tomas and Partners, which was previously known as Southland Consulting Engineers. So during this time when we started, we went through the feasibility stages of the project, that is to see how best we can fit all of the blocks that you see here today on site, picking the strategic positioning for the sewer treatment plants. After that, we went through the statutory approvals with Council and Ministry of Transport. For example, the junction that you see as you enter the estate, we were part of that. So I was able to be a part of the design and planning phase of the project, and today I get to be a part of Thaton property and also watch as the project is being implemented.
It has been quite a journey. At the beginning, you look at a project and in your mind, you convince yourself that you won't be able to get that project through to completion.
We have discovered that most people can't afford to buy properties in Zimbabwe, once-off payment, and most of the properties, they are very, very expensive. And most clients have to go to banks and get mortgages for them to just purchase a property. But we as Thaton Property Company, we have come to you and offer the best affordable prices with great installments so as to eradicate the fact that clients have to go and get mortgages. So this is one of the best solutions that we have offered. Even on investments opportunities, this is the perfect definition of real estate investment, because you only pay 40% deposit in 3 months, then balance over 5 years.
Working with a great team, with a great leader, Mr. Ben, you always find yourself, at a point where you just say, wow, we have done it.
Behind this achievement stands a family, men and women working side by side, each one driven by purpose, each one believing in the same dream, to prove that Zimbabwe can build to international standards. They've faced challenges, economic, logistical, environmental, but each obstacle only sharpened their resolve. They built brick by brick, not just structures, but trust, innovation, and pride.
Homes and properties are living spaces. They are places where people get to express themselves either professionally or with their family. And we wanted to capture that when we provide a space solution, it's got to be talking to a person's soul. It's got to be talking to themselves very deeply. After a very amazing career in South Africa, where I had been the business person of the year, given by Absa Bank, the biggest bank in Africa, the Herald newspaper from South Africa, as well as the Nelson Mandela Business School. I'd reached a pinnacle in my career, but everything came down. I lost everything. My businesses were all sequestrated. And I came home to see my parents. And it was probably the best trip I ever took, because I came back and, Zimbabwe has got so many opportunities, so much low-hanging fruit. And I came back with those eyes of an experienced property developer. And I just saw that this is the place of the future. This is the place you want to be. This is the place where you can do projects that really make a difference, that really make an impact in people's lives. Projects that touch the theater in everyone.
The issue of affordability for us is not a problem. Most of the people that have bought into our development, without mentioning names, people who are medical doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, retired people who have resources, or children who are working, but we have parents who could put a deposit for them. So affordability has not been our challenge. In
Zimbabwe, our property sector has been set up in a way that access is very easy. Unlike in many other countries, here you buy a stand, and in many instances you can buy a stand for cash. And then you buy your 3/4 stones, your sand, your cement, a few bricks, and you already start building. You get up to foundation level. So the way our market works is getting into property. There are so many sectors. There's high density properties, high density pieces of land. Access is there. So for young people wanting to get into the property sector for the first time, my advice would be go and look at the multiple developments out there. Buy yourself a nice stand, all right? And you can get stands for around $5,000 and even less in some instances. And then you start to build from there, and then you're in the property game, then you're in the property market. And after that first property, who knows, next you might be, in Bahrain, and then a few years after that, you eventually end up at a 2267 type project.
We've had to deal with suppliers. Sometimes you go past, the deadlines of payments. But we have formed great relationships, and we are where we are now because, of that management of the finances that we have done, and I am happy that I'm part of this project.
Ever since we started this project, we haven't encountered any challenges with NASA because we've been very compliant right from the get-go. We've been paying religiously all our dues, so we haven't encountered any problems with NASA or any other statutory body.
The challenge that we have faced is the issue of the lack of mortgage finance, especially in Zimbabwe. We do have young people who are working in good jobs, say in the pharmaceutical industries, who could afford to pay a bond. But because the banks do not offer mortgage finance, those people, some of them would have been cut out.
The problems and the challenges were immense. But if it's not challenging, it's probably not worth doing. Zimbabwe is not for the faint-hearted. Zimbabwe is for visionaries, people who can see beyond the immediate challenges or see beyond what the media likes to paint as a very negative picture. I think if you really know where you want to go, you will always find a solution. You will always find a way. Things were difficult. The first big project we did here was the Medical Specialist Center in Belgravia. That project took us 4 years. 4 years we were on site. And we went through multiple currency changes, and it was so difficult. It was so difficult to get to a point of completion. But I suppose at the end of the day, when your product is finished and You know, you can look at this beautiful building. It makes it all so much more worthwhile. I'm not saying Zimbabwe doesn't have challenges, but what country in the world doesn't have challenges? There's nowhere where you're gonna go where it's gonna be a simple, easy path to do amazing things. You know, they say you've gotta be a little bit crazy to take on some of the projects that we've taken on, to take on some of the challenges that we've taken on. But we embrace that because we are professionals in what we do. We enjoy and we love what we do.
These awards that are coming, they're testament to the great work that has been done. Effort has come from all parties. The team has performed as a unit. What I can say is we're now more than a team. We're now a family. And it makes my job as the head of finance much easier.
We are very protective about our quality. We've got to make sure that if there are going to be any mistakes, let the mistakes be done on paper during design stage. The last thing you want is to start construction and then you realize that your design wasn't done properly enough, and then you're making changes through the middle of construction. That's very expensive. We are so jealous about our quality that we've decided to do all of those critical functions in-house. So we have architects internally that are at the top of their game. They've come out of some of the leading organizations, property development organizations and architectural firms out there. We have our own engineers that have also come out of top practices, and we do that to jealously guard and protect our quality, to make sure that by the time we start off a foundation, by the time we start any kind of civil construction, we have been through our design several times, we've workshopped it, we've value engineered it, and we make sure that it's optimal. And that helps us develop better quality. The other key thing is on the cost management side. So we have our own quality surveyors internally, unlike an external quality surveyor whose fees are based on the cost of your project. So, if a quality surveyor is external and they're going to get more money when your costs go up, what do you think is going to happen? So we bring all of that in-house. We pay our team very well. People are very well rewarded, so they're incentivized to work for the organization and ensure that our cost management is optimal. And then we build internally as well, because our quality, the last thing you want is to appoint a contractor who might take shortcuts in the construction, not do everything that is required in order to save a little bit of money and make a little bit more profit. We look after the construction as well. So it's a full service from design, inception, design, detail design, costing, internal procurement, construction, until handover.
We received a call from the International Property Media. These people are the premium award-giving organization in real estate in the world. And they said, we think what you are offering here can compete in the world. And I spoke to the bosses and they said, go ahead and enroll. They then told us that we had won the Africa Property Awards in 3 categories. And for me, this was the best thing. This is the best thing that has happened to me in working in this role.
Got an email from them and they wanted to get more details on the project because they thought that we could be a good project to enter the awards. And the process was intensive. It was about 2.5 months. We had to submit all of our design drawings, all of our specifications, details of all of the products that we were using. And we went through various stages and more information was required at each stage until we made it to the final cutoff. And then there was a long period of silence for about a month. And then finally the phone call came in to our marketing director, Strive. Strive was the key person who put all of this information together with the rest of the team supporting it. And I tell you, it was, I'm still lost for words. Because throughout all my career in South Africa, it was always the biggest guys, the Baldwin properties, the Investec properties, all of these big guys used to get this kind of recognition. And then for us to get that recognition at an international stage, for our first major residential development in Zimbabwe was just, I'm lost for words. It was amazing. It was absolutely exceptional. And we are so proud. And we think it's an award for Zimbabwe to celebrate. The world is recognizing that world-class residential projects are being done in Zimbabwe. And we're very proud of it.
Okay, winning the award was a great reward for what we'd gone through. First of all, with the hotel we were meant to do, and it just stopped because of COVID. You sometimes start questioning, are we doing things right? Are we doing everything right? Have we done everything we possibly could have done? You know, and here, there will be teething problems when we're doing these projects. Timbers rise, timbers fall, that's part of construction. So yeah, so it's a justification that we're actually doing something, that we're doing something great, and there's a reward for it. If you put the hard work in, you always get rewarded.
So when he said it, actually came in and then he's like, guys, because he was walking around, actually he wasn't walking, he was running, holding Strive up in the air. Strive, you did it, you did it. And then he was so excited and we were like, what's going on here? So then he came back in, he's like, guys, we won the award.
For me, this is the best thing that has happened to me, even to the organization working for Thaton Property. The day that the results were announced, we were sitting in block number C and we're cheering as the results were being announced, and we're laughing and we're clapping our hands. Afterwards, the boss grabbed my hand and we ran into the yard, and the workers could see that something big had happened. They didn't know what had happened, and then my boss picked me up and then he tossed me in the air, and then we're cheering. It was a refreshing feeling. I was very happy.
And now, as the sun sets on Harare, the 2267 Lifestyle Estate stands as a testament to what can happen when heart meets hard work. It's a new chapter in Zimbabwe's story, one of resilience, creativity and excellence that echoes far beyond its borders. If you can think it, it's within your reach.
Another round of applause for that. Wow. An incredible story. I was speaking to a friend of mine, and then she says, well, what would you have me do today? And I said, just sit in there and watch the finesse of what we want to talk about tonight, which is Thaton Property. Fantastic developer that is doing fantastic things in Zimbabwe. And what you've just watched right now is not just a simple documentary. It's a statement of courage. It's boldness put on just individuals. It's discipline. It's about building for generations to come, a time when we're not even going to be around. But that's what do you guys think? A yay? Round of applause? Thank you for your... I've seen a lot of familiar faces this evening. Good evening, Mr. Pride. There's an agreement of sale waiting for you. Thank you. And sir, I'm going to get the commission for that sale. Already done. There's an agreement of sale waiting for each and every one of you that is in this place. I mean, you have no idea what you've delved into. But before we get started, I'd like to just honor everybody who has made it this evening. I would also like to honor you, our Honorable Superman Diwanzira, who's joining us for this phenomenal launch. Good evening to you, sir. So obviously, without a people, a vision perishes. And there is a great vision of the buildings that you see all around you, the pictures that have been stationed at every corner. And without the people who are behind the vision, there's going to be nothing for you to look at. So I'd like to call the Thaton team to just stand up where you are. They can come in. I can see them all out there. The Thaton team, maybe we can give them a round of applause as they come in. Come on, guys. Come through right here. Yes, Mr. Moses, right here. You see, when I talk about excellence, this is what I'm talking about. Can you tell that this is excellent? The shirts are all in one accord. Everybody is neat and everybody is ready, which is phenomenal. Guys, give yourselves a round of applause if nobody else will. So these men and women rally together every single day to make the dream come true. The architects, the engineers, the designers, the marketers, the people who know how to speak, you know, they're all in the forefront and they're making this dream come true. I just wanted you guys to see the faces and to see them. They will be plugged around in the evening. We will have a tour later on in the evening, and these are the people to go to. These are the people to speak to about those agreements of sale, Mr. Pride, that I mentioned. These are the people to see. Right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You can take your seats. And there is somebody behind the whole thing, bringing these guys together. You know, they have sleepless nights. Some of them couldn't even be here because they were up all night just to make sure that our venue was going to be safe for us. And I will say one thing. Remember that we are still at a construction site, so please move with caution. Please move with caution as you are moving around later on as we do the tour. But there is that great visionary, the leader. He is our executive chairman for Thaton Property. And I am going to call him up so that he can address us and give us a few words about who Thaton Property really are. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ben Nyaungwe.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much all for coming. This is quite an awesome turnout. It's great to see you all here, lots of familiar faces. But following protocol, I really want to welcome our guest of honor here, Honorable Superman Dewanzira. We are pleased to have you here, Honorable. And the rest of the party as well, and our friends that have come all the way from Russia, and importantly, everyone that is here. Thank you for being here tonight and sharing with us and participating in this really, really amazing event that we have planned for you this evening. So, you know, after having watched that docuseries, I hadn't watched it in I think we showed it for the first time to the staff at the Christmas party in December. And it's basically said everything I wanted to say. I don't know if you were listening, but I mean, that's really what I wanted to say, a lot of what we were saying there. So I'm going to go off a little bit on a tangent, and I hope I don't bore you, and I'm still relevant in what I still have to say. There was also something that was crossing my mind this afternoon. You know, when you're a property developer, when you're running a business, whatever kind of business it is, there's so much that you want your audience, your market, your clientele to understand about you. There's so much to say, so much to share. But then in this particular instance, today, I really felt that it's not about talking. There's less to be said. And it should really more be about letting the products speak for themselves. When we were planning the launch of the core notes, we went and we looked at our partner, the Peach Hotel. We have a great relationship with them. We thought that is the venue that we would use. And we started our planning thinking we'd do this thing at the Peach Hotel. But then we soon realized we are taking away people from a site where they can actually literally physically see what it is that we do. Look at our quality, look at the kind of product that we develop, and realize very critically and very important is you see a lot of projects out there being marketed with really amazing architectural impressions. And then when you look at the final product, they are not the same. They do not look like the architectural impressions that informed your investment decision. The one thing I'm very proud, and I'll challenge all of you, because we've got all of these beautiful images. And where do I point? Where we've got all of these beautiful images of, I think my slides might have moved around a little bit. I want to come to the renders of this particular development. Kumbi, I'm sorry, I'm going to be going back and forth here. Right there. When you look at that render, that was the artistic impression that we used, that we came out with when we were launching this particular product. And when you look at what has been built there, for me, I can't tell the difference. I mean, this could really have been a photograph of the exact actual buildings that you see out there. It is true to render. And that's very important, because what you are going to see tonight, when my colleague comes on and presents the Cornot project to you, what you are seeing on those renders is exactly the product that you will get if you make the investment decision to invest with us. All right, I'll go back again to the beginning of this. And maybe some of this didn't come out quite clearly in the presentation that was, in that beautiful presentation that was shown earlier. But, you know, I remember being interviewed on ZFM, and I was making a point that, you know, Zimbabwe, you know, the first government under Robert Gabriel Mugabe did so much to invest in the education of its population. We've got some really smart people. Anywhere you go around the world, there's a Zimbabwean at the top of their game that's really doing so well. And I always think to myself that if a few more of those people could come back and really take advantage of all of the low-hanging fruits, the multitude of opportunities that are in Zimbabwe, we would be able to really create a great, 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 great country. And that is one of the things that drives us at Thaton Property. We are wanting to make our contribution to get or to be the Zimbabwe that we want. We want to build the Zimbabwe that we want. There are so many people I went to university with all around the world who say, but you know, there's no shopping malls, there's no Santons, there's no all of those amenities that you find in more developed economies. But those are the actual opportunities. The fact that we don't have them, and there's this huge demand. I mean, if you go into Johannesburg, most of the people that are shopping there in Sandton City are Zimbabweans, taking money earned here and spending it in a foreign country because we haven't given them the product that they need. So we are trying to play our little part in trying to address that gap. People travel to Dubai, they travel to Cape Town, they stay in these amazing apartments, they stay in these amazing hotels and amazing facilities, and because we don't have them here, you know, where they've made money, they go and spend that money there. But we want to have those products here in Zimbabwe. We need some of that money to circulate a few more times locally, in the local economy, and that will benefit each and every one of us. The more we can do that, the better we'll all be. It's a self-fulfilling type of thing. So a couple of years back, we did a strategic session and we wanted to define ourselves and understand exactly who we were as an organization. And this was one of the things that came out of that exercise. The fact that we are an award-winning organization, and this was before the 16 awards that we got last year, a dynamic real estate development company driven to create groundbreaking, which is exactly what I think we're doing with the Cornot, and you're going to hear a lot more about it a little later on. Things that are innovative, high value, and we want to normalize excellence. And I want to just go on a little bit more about that word excellence, because we've really found it that is really the core purpose of our existence as an organization. We are seeking excellence, and we want to epitomize Black excellence. We want our seat at the table, and we want to be recognized as capable as any other party that is out there. So those are things that are really dear to us and mean a hell of a lot to us and drive us in everything that we do in our organization. You know, I remember when we did the launch of this particular project here. I'm sure a lot of you know a very well-known gentleman known as Joshua Maponga. He used to be pastor or bishop, Joshua Maponga. He's dropped that title now. And Joshua at that time was our guest speaker. And you know, there's a lady one of the ladies that worked for you, Farai. Hello, Miss Mlochwa. Elaine, forgetting her surname now. And she came to me and she said, Ben, this just looks too good to be true, hey. It just looks too good to be true. I mean, nobody's gonna really believe this because nobody's doing this in Harare, nobody's doing this in Zimbabwe. But ladies and gentlemen, here it is. After all the formalities and the presentations and speeches, we really invite you all to go in there and see it. It has happened, it has been built, it is reality. The Thaton team has already been introduced. I was really looking forward to do that. You stole a little bit of my thunder, Marissa. But you know, one of the things that's important, when you are doing an ambitious project, people want to believe. They want to know that these people have the technical capability and competence to do what they're saying they're going to do. This is just a little bit of our history, or maybe my personal history. Developed, owned, and operated the first Radisson Hotel in Africa. And you can see it's a massive high-rise building, 21 stories, and I was in my early 30s. Now I'm on the 5th floor. I know you won't believe it. I don't look it, eh? I look more like I'm still that age. But we've had the exposure. We've done these things before. In fact, we've done significantly more complicated, more technically challenging projects than what we are looking to deliver to you at the corner. So one of the things you can rest be assured, and if you saw those people that came through here, what Marissa probably didn't say is we've got 8 engineers that are full-time employees at Thaton Property. We've got 3 quantity surveyors, and we've got 3 architects within the organization. So when we're talking about being a turnkey developer, that we do everything from conception, all the design, all the engineering, the value engineering, and then finally moving on to site, that is really what we do. We have those resources in-house, and our level of technical expertise is I don't know any other organization that's got all of that within one organization and in-house. That video, if you enjoyed it, that you watched earlier on tonight, it will be coming up on your YouTube links or when you're on social media. Please do share it as widely as you can. Would really love a lot more people to understand us as an organization and see a little bit of our history and where we've come from. Good evening, Dr. Chanakira. Welcome, welcome. There's, you know, this afternoon I was at an event. I was one of the panelists. This was the Zimbabwe Family Business Summit. A very amazing summit, and I would encourage all of you to attend the next one that's coming up next year. A lot of international speakers, some really prominent people were present. They gave absolutely amazing presentations and discussions. Dr. Chanakira chaired one of those panel discussions. And there was something really interesting. One of the people that was there was Jeremy Brook, someone I really look up to, have a lot of respect for. He called me my new best friend. And you remain my friend as long as you don't stop smoking. So, excuse my voice. But Jeremy spoke about something really important. He spoke about the fact that, you know, early in his career, he had built Shearwater Adventures. He then sold the business, and the next thing he was flat broke. Absolutely flat broke. And he says an experience he had in his life that he would never lose, never give up. And when I was on a panel discussion, there was also Ms. Joshi was there, who had had similar experiences, and everybody was really appreciative of the downfalls that they've had. And I want to make reference to one of these philosophers that I really enjoy. His name is Carl Jung. And one of the things he says that struggle and adversity are the greatest teachers and builders of strength of character and vision. In my own personal story, Jeremy was very excited that I went through the same thing. I was liquidated. I'd become a rand billionaire. Well, we had a company that had a billion rand balance sheet. I was only 34 years old, lost everything entirely, house, car, everything, couldn't operate a bank account, and came back to the land of honey, Zimbabwe. With all that experience and all of those battle scars, you know, if you get a cut on your hand, it always heals, doesn't it? And that piece of skin where the cut was actually becomes stronger than the rest of the skin around it. So we've been through those fires, we've been down, and I tell you, once you get up when you have fallen down, you come up and you're a lot stronger and you're a lot more resilient. And the Cornerd is a very exciting project. You're gonna love it, but I can tell you there'll still be more. And we're gonna keep going and keep building until we get to that Zimbabwe that we wanna see, and create, you know, the country that way. When you want to go on holiday, you want to go and enjoy Christmas, New Year's, don't travel to Cape Town. Go to Vic Falls, because it should have everything that you can get in Cape Town. We've got some really amazing destinations here in Zimbabwe that have not been fully developed. People go to the Drakensberg. We've got Nyanga that's sitting out there waiting to be developed. All of these are some of the low-hanging fruits I'm talking about. And it's upon us to actually take advantage of them and realize them and create this wealth for ourselves and for our economy. Recently, we've heard of a delisting happening on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange. And it's public knowledge. We know that Econet is looking to delist from the stock exchange. They're offering cash and shares. There are some of you here, hopefully, that are asset managers, private equity managers, bankers even. When you have that cash, when you've sold your shares at Econet and you're looking for homes, you know exactly where to put your money, the Cornerd luxury residence. At the present moment, we've actually got some of those people negotiating with us. I wish we'd been able to finish those, because I would have loved to have been actually able to tell you that we're already 20% sold out. But yes, we're there. We've already had people who have come and signed and committed to invest in the project. And we're hoping that all of you too will do so. So, following that lovely docu-series and these few words that I've had to say to you, that is my part. I'm going to be around. We'll be able to talk to anybody, engage with anybody. Thank you very much, and thank you for supporting us tonight.
Thank you so much to Mr. Ben Nyaume, who is the executive chairman for Thaton Property, responsible for the beautiful images that you see in and around this tent and outside as well, and soon to be. Just a little bit of house rules. Welcome to those that have come in. I do hope you will have a phenomenal evening. Just a bit of house rules. As I said before, we are at a construction site, so please make sure that you are moving around safety when we go for our break and a tour later on. For the ablution facilities, they are behind the tent, this way, right behind me. So when you need to use those, please find yourselves that way. There is a swimming pool over there, and I do know that Munya Jokonya had said that he wanted to christen the pool. Did you manage to do that? No, don't do it. Oh, you want to do it tonight? He said he's going to jump in tonight. But I do know that most of you do not want to be jumping into the pool, so please be careful when you go out there as well. But what I picked up from Mr. Nyaume's speech was, we are the land of honey. It's very sweet to be in Zimbabwe. And we do know that the color of honey is, you know, like gold. And we do have a lot of national treasures in our country. Everything that needs to be unearthed, not just in the form of minerals, but also in the form of human beings and what they are doing to fly our flag high out there on an international platform. We do have what we want to call a national treasure in our midst here at Thaton Property, and we call him the Thaton Property Brand Ambassador. I would like to introduce the first ninja. Let me read his bio to you first before he comes in. Shihan Wilfred M. Mashaya is a renowned Zimbabwean martial artist, trainer, administrator with experience and dedicated service spanning over 3 decades. His dedication to the sport, his commitment to giving back to his community, and his numerous achievements and accolades make him an exemplary figure in the world of sport. He has managed to raise the country's flag high around the world. He is a holder of 4 various black belts in various martial arts disciplines, and I will not attempt to say those names because they're in another language, and I will allow him to do that when he comes up to speak later on. But this evening, I would like to introduce the first black ninja in our beautiful Zimbabwe, Shihan Mashaya.
I greet you all. Thaton Property CEO, Mr. Benyaomwese. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. All invited guests, you know, being handpicked by one of the greatest companies, not only in our land, but in the region, and also through a man I respect so much, Mr. Benyaomwe, is a huge nod to the character that Thaton Properties saw it fit with Black Excellence Synergy, a leading real-world property firm aligning with the discipline, mastery of the Zim Ninja as a brand. The connection between Thaton Property and the Zim Ninja Academy is defined by a shared belief that African excellence is a global standard. By merging world-class engineering with elite martial arts discipline, both entities aim to inspire a homecoming of talent and a renewed sense of national pride. Unwavering discipline and technical mastery, professional rigor, Thaton Properties rejects standard construction, opting for high-level engineering, off-grid solar, double glazing, and thermal efficiency to solve local challenges. Mental fortitude. The academy teaches martial arts as a strategic discipline focusing on emotional control and the art of survival, rather than just physical combat. Radical self-belief, global representation. Competing at the top, by the way, I became the first African world champion, being the first African, but being born in Zimbabwe. I went to Russia in 2016, being the only African, and I conquered the world to the surprise of many. So, and I can say God is wonderful. Because from there, that is when the world realized that in Zimbabwe, there is Zim Ninja. After 2016 winning Russia, 2018 I became the first, not only Zimbabwean, but African to be inducted into the Barcelona Hall of Fame. Then after that, I was inducted into the Italian Hall of Fame, the Serbian Hall of Fame, London Hall of Fame, being the only African. So it's an honor. And last year I took 8 kids to United Kingdom, 4 girls and 4 boys. They won 43 medals in world championships. Something that no any other African country has done in that martial arts mastery of weapons. So I can say, yes, we can do it. And through Mr. Benyaomwe, let us believe in ourselves. So as I was saying, competing at the top by winning at the International Property Awards, that's Thaton Property. Thaton Properties won so many awards, international awards actually. And myself, Martial Arts Hall of Fame and World Championship. Both organizations prove that Zimbabweans can lead in fields traditionally dominated by foreign giants, defying stereotypes. They move from being participants to pioneers, showing that a dedicated African mind has no limits in business or in sport. Uplifting others and social responsibility. Community Shield. The Academy actively fights gender-based violence through free women's self-defense and keeps youth off the streets by advocating for a drug-free generation. Mentorship. They transform street energy into professional athleticism, building the confidence of vulnerable groups to stand tall in any room. You know, my mission, seeing that, yes, we can do it, I'm actually trying to take youth off the streets, identifying talent so that they stay away from drugs and substance abuse. the Homecoming Mission, Urban and Human Renewal, Chief Executive Officer Mr. Benyaomwe, and myself, Shian Mashaya, use our global success to reinvest in Zimbabwe, calling on the diasporans to also do the same. National pride. The goal is to restore Harare and other provinces to their former glory by creating lifestyle and a mindset that matches best in the world. So I would want to extend my deepest gratitude to Thaton Properties and Mr. Benyaomwe and your team for appointing me as your brand ambassador. It is a profound honor to be recognized by a huge company that leads with such vision. Our shared commitment to excellence and community growth makes this partnership a natural fit. I look forward to represent Thaton brand with the same discipline and dedication that defines the Zim Ninja brand. We say martial arts starts and ends with discipline, and the disciplines, it requires a lot of things: hard work, dedication, commitment, and many more. Being named brand ambassador is not just a personal milestone, but a testament to what happens when local industry giants support local talent. Together, we are building a legacy of strength, integrity, and progress in Zimbabwe. Let us get to work. Let us continue shining. Let us continue believing in ourselves. In Black's excellency, yes, we can do it. And Thaton Properties is a tangible proof to that through its world-class achievements. Thank you, Thaton Properties. Thank you, Mr. Benyaomwe and your amazing team for believing in one of your own Zim Ninja, Mount Award-winning martial artist. My humble, respecting Fubao, signing out. Yours truly, Zim Ninja, us.
What a wow, I will say. And just an exhibition of discipline and honor and respect, most of all. Did we all see how he respected his tools? I mean, that is a great art, and I believe that is something that we should all acquire within ourselves. One thing that Shihan mentioned was keeping the youth off the street, making sure that, you know, even the youth that have gone out of Zimbabwe will come home, which is something that Ben has been, you know, speaking over and over again. We do have a mix of the oldies. I won't mention the oldies in the team. And we also have a mix of the young ones who are really making strides, really standing as an example of what the youth can actually do in our beautiful Zimbabwe. So our next speaker is going to be Mr. Mnangagwa. He's going to give us a few words.
Thank you, Marissa, for that. So I think everyone's excited to actually see and speak about what you're mainly here for today. So I'll do a brief intro. My name is Mnangagwa. I am an architect, and I am the Developments and Projects Director here at Thaton Property. So I'm actually quite excited about tonight, not just as an architect, but as a Zimbabwean. What we're about to show you is something extraordinary. It's never been seen before in Zimbabwe, and that is the cornered luxury residence. So the cornered luxury residence is more than a building. It's more than a structure. And tonight I want to first introduce the ideas which actually brought about the design, the vision, the design thinking, the lifestyle we believe that Harare deserves. I think to get started, I'll start with the experience. So just imagine beginning your day with having a cup of coffee at Plato Coffee. For the families, the ease of dropping off your child at petite kindergarten. For those that work at home, just going downstairs for a meeting in Regis, and easily accessible in the afternoon to buy some fresh produce from the fresh company. In the afternoon, you can, or even towards the evening, going for a workout session in Pro Fitness, and then maybe even a massage at Camelot Spa afterwards. And for dinner, you don't need to go far. You can just go downstairs and order from Luga de Polo. That is the Cornet. And the idea behind the Cornet is about creating rhythm. Rhythm in how we live and how we actually experience life within the city itself. Now this rhythm, we've given it a name, a title. So we've called it Urban Plus. So I'm sure you've all heard live, work, play. I think it's every developer in Harare, South Africa, even across the globe uses that, live, work, play. We want to use a different acronym, Urban Plus. For us, Urban Plus is more complete. It's further expression of modern life. Urban Plus means unwind, retail, belong, achieve, nourish, and with the plus, it brings workspaces, wellness, and elevated services, all under one roof. Naturally, the next question becomes, where do you put such a building in Harare? We picked Avondale, right at the corner of Cornet Road and King George Road. This is one of the strongest and I think the most desirable urban nodes in Harare. Avondale is established, it's connected, it's central, it's familiar, it offers quick access into the CBD, and it's really coming up, as we've seen in the property market. More and more modern developments are happening there, but none to the level that we're actually taking it with the Cornet Luxury Residence. In many ways, we've actually, as a team, been calling Avondale our new Rivonia, a place where lifestyle, business, convenience, and premium living are increasingly converging into one urban identity. Urban Plus. It only works when the location already has an energy of its own, it has that convenience and demand, and Avondale gave us the foundation to be able to actually do that. So what we're doing here is not simply a building on a site. We're plugging in a new lifestyle ecosystem into one of Harare's most urban settings. And even the approach to the site has been carefully considered with reconfigured traffic flow. We've already submitted our plans into City of Harare, where they currently are being approved, and we will be changing the intersection at that corner of Cornet and King George. Why? Is because convenience begins before you even enter the building. Right. And with that word, ecosystem. So, ecosystem is very important to us. Remember, I did say, this is not just a building. A building is not just a structure. It's not just about concrete, glass, finishes, floor plates. A building is an ecosystem. Its true value lies in what makes it possible, how we move, how we live, how we connect, how we rest, how we work, and just how we feel in general. You know what's interesting, as I've been going through the Cornet and the entire design process from the beginning, is, and Ben is laughing there, we were walking the streets, the pavements in Avondale, trying to find this piece of land, and we found it. But an important part of why I studied architecture is through growing up, seeing the different houses we lived in, the different buildings I experienced, schools and everything, realized the impact of architecture. Architecture, buildings are more than just where you live, right? A lot of us are actually impacted by the places we stay. you'll find that a big part of your character, how you feel about yourself, is actually determined by where you stay and your experience through life, through buildings. At the Cornet, we wanted to design for lived experience, for the actual rhythm of daily life. From the way modern people increasingly want to live, with more convenience, more integration, more reliability, more quality in the way their day flows. And that matters, especially now. Harare is growing quickly. Harare was never designed for the number of inhabitants who have moved into Harare, who have been born into Harare. And so we actually have to do something as developers. And this is what we're doing with the Cornet. Life in Harare is, at the moment, you live in one place, you work in another, you shop somewhere else, you exercise across the city, you meet friends in another node entirely. And on top of that, utilities still add uncertainty and stress. Utilities being water and electricity. This fragmentation costs time, it costs energy, it costs money, and over time it affects the quality of life. What the Cornet does is it takes that fragmentation and turns it into flow. It reduces unnecessary movement, it gives time back, it brings daily needs together in one address, and it builds a greater sense of reliability and ease. That is the lifestyle value for the resident. And from an investment perspective, that is also the logic. A development that reduces friction between the kind of place people want to choose first and stay in for longer. It only makes sense. So the question becomes, how do you design such a building? So for us, there were three key drivers. The first was identity that lasts. The second, greenery that calms the city. Third, reliable ecosystem. Every design decision had to answer two simple questions. Does it make daily life better? And will it hold value over time? That thinking is reflected strongly in the design language of the building. We wanted something that feels globally competitive, but still deeply rooted in place. Something with a modern luxury sensibility, but not something that feels imported or disconnected from its context. That's why materials like face brick become so important to us. Face brick carries warmth. Tirivana vev, right? And if you look at our soil, it's red. And our building, face brick really grounds our building within our context. And it ages well. It also speaks to something local, to texture, earth, and a visual richness that suits Harare. Then there's integration of greenery. In a dense urban setting, greenery softens the experience of the city. It creates calm, it humanizes the facade, it introduces life into architecture. So the result is a building that feels refined and modern, but also warm, calm, and rooted. In many ways, that is the balance we're after, a global standard with a Harare soul. Planning for the building was equally important. We approached it almost like designing a mini city. The arrival matters, the first impressions matter, the base of the building must feel active, useful, and welcoming. The mixed use and service layers must support the life of the building, and the homes above must feel elevated, calm, and removed enough to still feel private and secure. So rather than simply stacking different uses on top of one another, we focus on flow, on how each layer of the building supports the next. That is what the Cornet, that allows the Cornet to function not just as a development, but as a true mixed-use destination. And when we speak about destination, we are speaking very practically. At the Cornet, the ecosystem includes brands that you may already have heard of, that you visit regularly. And those brands are Plato Coffee, Regis Service Offices. Regis is a Fortune 500 listed company. If I'm not mistaken, they're currently the biggest service office provider in the world. And they're providing services to global brands, Google, Microsoft. We're bringing the Regis to Zimbabwe. The Fresh Company, they do fresh produce, market style. We have Pro Fitness Gym coming in, Camelot Spa, Luga de Polo, and we haven't forgotten that we all have families. We have to think about life as a whole, and so we've decided to also include a daycare, one that is petite kindergarten. And for the residents, there's a lot more. We have a swimming pool and kiddies pool, of course, a clubhouse, multiple braai areas, and ample parking and optional storage. And layered into that are the services that turn convenience into luxury. A 24-hour reception, concierge support, just like what you get in hotels, and optional housekeeping. So we have 9 staff on call 24 hours a day as a service that you can buy into. So this brings hotel-style ease and into daily living. And with over 400 plus parking bays in the development, that supports the scale of the ecosystem with the convenience and capacity a mixed destination truly needs. Each of those elements plays a role in shaping daily life. This is not convenience for the sake of having a long list of amenities, and trust me, I can keep going. I haven't mentioned quite a number of them. It is convenience that changes behavior. It changes how much time you spend in traffic. It changes how easily family logistics work. It changes how work and wellness can be integrated. It changes how much friction exists in your day. And that is what makes urban life, urban plus, meaningful. Because the plus is not decorative. The plus is where the value is. It is what turns a residential building into a living ecosystem. It is what turns an address into a lifestyle. And in our context, there's another layer to that value, and that is reliability. One of the things we increasingly believe is that reliability is also the new luxury, just having consistent power, consistent water at the right pressure. Luxury is not only what you see, it is what you can rely on. At the Cornet, a substantial solar farm helps power the building, reducing dependence on the grid and supporting more resilience in everyday living experience. Water is also treated as a valuable resource. It is captured, cleaned, reused within the building, helping support a more secure and future-ready way of living. Because in a modern urban environment, the real test of quality is not just image. It is consistency, it is reliability, and it is peace of mind. And once all of these ideas come together, the location, the lifestyle, the planning, the materials, the ecosystem, the resilience, then the architecture begins to take on its full meaning. And that brings me to the building itself. This is the Cornet realized. Everything I've been speaking about in its form. What you see here is the physical expression of everything I've just described. the warmth, the greenery, the confidence, the urban presence, and a sense of life in the architecture itself. And beyond the main facade, the aerial perspective and courtyard views begin to show the full ecosystem. Not just the building itself, but the environment and lifestyle it creates. The courtyard spaces are particularly important because they show how the development creates breathing room, greenery, and community within an urban setting. It is modern, but not cold. Premium, but not overstated. Ambitious, but still grounded in place. And what makes it powerful is not just the image, it is the detail behind it. Because luxury is never one big gesture. It's 100 smaller decisions. It is how you arrive, how the entrance feels, how the base of the building engages the street, how the greenery is woven into the experience, how materials age, how leisure spaces invite community, how the building supports family life, wellness, work, and rest, all at once. Those are the details that elevate the experience. Those are the details that turn a development into a reference point. And that ultimately is what the Cornot is. It is more than a building. It is more than an apartment. It is more than a mixed-use development. It is a new standard for urban living in Harare, a first of its kind in Zimbabwe, a place where convenience, connection, quality, and long-term value come together in one address. And I genuinely believe that in a few years, this will be one of those developments people refer back to. One of those addresses people say they saw it early, and they wish they had acted on it sooner. Because Urban Plus means more life per square meter, more convenience, more connection, more value. And at the Cornot, now is the time to be early. As Marissa said, we have agreements of sales ready for you. But before I do go, I want to show you what life looks like at the Cornot.
Thank you. Welcome to Urban Plus.
Thank you. Absolutely phenomenal. Mr. Nyawumwe, I join you in a standing ovation for that. Fantastic. My goodness. Munya, are there elevators in there? Tao, I'm not going to need you anymore because, you know, Tao, he's the young gentleman who's helping me up the stairs every single time. I'm not going to need you. There's elevators at the Cornot. Right. There's also a marketing team that is involved in, collecting your signatures at the end of the evening or the end of the week or even right now, okay? And I'm going to call them up. That's Agnes, Catherine, and Kumbi. They're just going to give a quick brief about who they are and what they do in 5 minutes. A round of applause for them.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Allow me to say all protocol observed. I'm Agnes Chimani, the marketing lead for Thaton Properties, and I'm thrilled to be leading the team showcasing the Connaught Luxury Estate tonight. This is the Thaton marketing team, and we'll be guiding you through an unparalleled offer. Catherine, please take us away.
Thank you so much, Agnes. I see lots of my investors. Good evening. How are you? Okay, so today I would like to challenge you on everything that you ever believed in purchasing of land in Zimbabwe, particularly in Harare. So we as Thaton Properties, you all know that 2 years back, we launched the 2267 Lifestyle Estate, and we managed to hand over the completed units. We are fully sold out now. And along the way, we won several awards. That's a story for another day. But today, I'd like to, I'm so excited to let you know that we are launching the Connaught Luxury Residence. And we got studio apartments. We got 1-bed apartments. The studios are going for 79,000, and you're only required to pay 50% down payment in the balance over 4 years. Clap hands for that. Other property developers that are in the similar space with us, I can tell you with my eyes closed or open, they are not offering the same payment plan as us. Yes, I know that. I know that. So the 1-beds, they are going for 115 only, and you can pay 50% only, and the balance over 4 years. Get your checks ready. My investors, you are already there. I'm here. And thank you so much. I won #1 in Zimbabwe out of 56 winners. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kathy. Kathy is charged and ready to lead you to the Connaught. Kumbirai, tell us more about the Connaught.
Sure. I don't have a whole fancy history, but I'm the Monya that's going to protect your investment. So come to me if you want to buy from me. My name's Kumbirai. I'm going to take you through the 2- and 3-bedroom apartments at the Connaught. The 2 bedrooms start at $175,000, excluding VAT. And again, you can pay 50% deposit over 3 months and the rest until 2030. The 3-bedroom ones are starting at $265. Now, the 3-bedroom ones is the one I really want to sell to the audience tonight. The 3-bedroom ones at the Connaught we consider the pinnacle, the crown jewel of this new crown jewel that's coming to Avondale. It's for esteemed business people, diplomats, executives, people not unlike yourselves. So this is your chance to come in and be part of the Connaught Luxury Residence, and you can start tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an investment you can't afford to miss.
Thank you, Kumbirai. Thank you, Kumbirai. So you can see that we are committed to securing your piece of luxury in Harare, in Avondale. I'll just go through the payment terms again. For all the apartments, there's 50% deposit required, and you can pay this off from month 1 to month 3. And then the remaining balance is payable from month 4 to month 24. It really doesn't get better than that. We're excited to welcome you to the Connaught, and we have given you soft terms so you can be part of the soft life at the Connaught. Please see us. We'll be here to service you and to usher you into the Connaught today. Thank you very much.
79,000 US dollars. Chete is what we're starting with, up to 300 and what was it again, Kumbi? 265 starting, but as we go up, obviously my levels are no changer. There's greater views, phenomenal spaces. And I do see a good friend of mine in there. Doctor, good evening. I know you will be purchasing one of these fantastic luxury apartments. Right, guys, we've come to halfway of our evening, so we are going to take a 15-minute break right now so we can get refreshments outside. It is raining, so I know that the waiters are going to be coming in, helping to serve us. And, you know, as we gear up for the last segment of this wonderful launch of the Connaught residence. So we will see you again in 15 minutes. That's going to be 20 past 7. And we do know that it is a construction site, so please be careful, and it is raining. Please take extra caution. See you soon.
Energy through a central 50 kVA inverter and battery system, ensuring electricity 24/7. Each unit has advanced air conditioning and heat exchange system, cutting energy usage by up to 70%. This is the first project to use full double glazing on all doors and windows. SPC anti-scratch floors designed to last 50 years. Moisture-resistant plywood cupboards, crystal carbon doors with permanent color that never fades. This lifestyle estate features a mini golf course, paddleball court, saunas and steam rooms, swimming pool and gym with techno-fitted equipment, clubhouse, braai areas, children's play zone. Each apartment speaks excellence in every corner, including each balcony fitted with a gas braai. Fully fitted kitchen with Smeg appliances, dishwasher, fridge, oven, microwave, extractor, sleek, modern and uniform finishes throughout. A landmark development showing not just how we can live, but how we will live tomorrow. Who is behind it all? Let's find out.
The word Thaton comes from the word theta, which is the soul, the essence of a human being.
I've been with Thaton since 2016.
It's Thaton that has gotten us to be where we are at the moment.
In the heart of Harare, where opportunity meets hard ground, a new skyline is rising, a bold vision. The 2267 Lifestyle Estate has become a symbol of what is possible when innovation, courage, and teamwork come together. As the sun rises, so do the hard workers who have dedicated a portion of their lives to help build the vision. They sign in, gather together, and so the day begins, telling the story of success. On a day-to-day, how does it all work? And what does it mean to some of the workers?
You want to work. Chimchekutanga is the inspection of the safety of the scaffold first. And Mr. Sosavava inspector scaffold. Our scaffold go. You are kushanda pan papa. Chechipiri, our friend kushanda pa scaffold uri one. There has to be someone and in the akamira pass. Either achindikina then takukira pa scaffold. There's a scaffold yedu ya inspector ya boy ya iswa ladder and everything is fine. Then to chokira ne ladder ready to end up and kushandira.
Noita je plastering. Next skimming. Vasaranga kana nchish plaster ndinotora daka nchidai. Nchinamira nchinamira kuti ndikapeza ndo aina ndo dai ndo shinisa nchishinisa. Ndotora corner tool yangu dot inside corner tool yangu.
Tinonimutsa kuseni chokuti chikwanisiro ndizvotumutsa. Tosangana nemachedza akasiyana nemafamilies, tinoda kuchengeta mafamilies. Tinana mai nana baba tivakwasha. Tinoda kuachengetawo kuti vararame mune zvakanaka.
Zvinoita kuti tiri panapa Thaton ka ikambani yakarongeka pane mamwe makamana takamboshanda. Saka tinouya tichiziva kuti zvatiri kuyazoshandira kwatiri kuenda kwacho kunhu kwakanaka, kunhu kwokuti tinofara kuti tiri koko tichiwanawo zvatingatashandirawo tichidzokera kudzimba kwatikatasiya moto.
Panapa ndaane 2 years ndichishanda panapa. Tiri panapa isusu tiri ma-subcontractors at Thaton. Tiri vabatsiri vanovabatsira basa ravo kana rarema. Saka kubva mafloods achitanga takatanga neblock 1 irori kusvika yese atenderere. Izvozvi taakuita riri pakati iro ndo ratakusimudza. Kuita rimwe riri pamusoro pane vakomana vari pamusoro avo. Tisu futi tiri kuriita tiri ma-subcontractors.
Totikudza kuti vazhinji vauye kuti tigadza zvakanaka here vachasitarisa here and there. Pane chine chakaipa achitarisa asi tatitarisa hedu ndekuti tigadze zvinhu zvakanaka zvinotora manhu maziso kuti anopfuura anotombomira kuti ako ndiri kuitei kwapa ende chinhu chakanaka ichi toitawo dzimba dzakanaka.
Mabhosi anga ari right anogona kutichengeta kubasa kana mari isipo panoita kuti mari yedu iuye panoshingirira kuti vagadzirise nyaya dzinenge dzichitambudza panapa.
Pano paThaton tinonakirwa zvakanyanya nekuti mari dzedu dzinobudawo sekuwirirana kwatenge takaita. Saka hatina zvichemo zvakanyanya kuwanda zvedu uye zvinongofadzawo kuti tisi tiri kurova muturikidzanwa iri kuenda mudenga. Nerimwe ramazuva ndichadarika nenzira iyi ndichienda kwaMutoko ndakagara namadhamu pasaiti. Madhamu munoona panhu pakanaka zvekudaro apo tisi takapaita ipapo. Saka ndinotenda Thaton zvikuru neutungamiri hwayo hwose. Hatina dambudziko rakanyanya.
Aiwa pari pazviri zvekushanda mabhosi edu nevashandi tinoshandidzana mune zvakanaka. Vanobatawo vashandi zvakanaka, zvese zvatinodawo tinoitirawo zvavanodawo tichivaitirawo. Machallenges andakaona panapa kubva ndiuye parain season kana iri nguva yemvura inoita kuti basa ridzokere kumashure because scaffolding inenge isingazodi kunyanya kugara pano panenge pakanyanyotota. Saka ndiwo machallenges nemadelays atinowanzosangana nawo panguva yekunaya kwemvura.
Built by Thaton Property, this remarkable development has achieved what many thought impossible. From the 2025-2026 UK-based international awards, Thaton Property received not just 1, but 3 international awards for residential development, 20-plus units, architecture, multiple residences, apartment/condominium projects. That is phenomenal excellence, sustainability, and innovation. Who is behind these designs?
On this project, I was looking at the construction of roads, sewer reticulation and water reticulation and the storm water.
I'm the project manager for this project 2267 Lifestyle Estate. I'm responsible for coordinating a team of highly brilliant architects, quantity surveyors and design engineers, civil engineers.
I do civils. I am the civils clerk. I'm responsible for these yellow machines. I'm responsible for ordering everything civil that you see around here. You look at the cage pits, you look at the roads, you look at anything that is besides structural.
The role mainly here is making sure this project is done within budget, is done on time, and the desired quality is met. For us, what we did was to first of all start with one block, so that each and every challenge we face in this block, we have to learn.
The finished unit gives a clear picture of what we're doing with the other buildings that haven't been finished yet. And if you see the out of this world finish that we've done on that finished unit, it can tell you so many things about Thaton Property. Actually, it's a visual. You actually see what we can deliver as Thaton Property. It's not just like we saying, but we deliver up to our promise.
The most basic thing, like for example, putting up a slab. You've done it so many times. It's the same slab, the same people, same materials, and then one day, one crazy day when everyone's running around being busy, your day collapses. It's frustrating, you know, and you're thinking to yourself, I can't start this again. So you just need to take a break, have a joke, and laugh about it. I mean, you can't undo it. So that's one of the small things. Well, it's a big thing, but yeah, small things. I've done one project with Thaton along Circuit Street Extension. It was one of my best projects. Then I went out and sowed my wild oats for a while. Then I heard about this project and I came back. I'm excited to be here, like really excited. I thought the opportunity for me had passed, but it's not.
The 2267 lifestyle project is very integrated, and the way they've delivered the system, it was well coordinated. As you can see, everything is running well. It has been like this since the genesis, and from when I started with the company, it has been an exciting moment every day.
It's such a refreshing feeling to sell something that people actually appreciate.
Every detail behind this remarkable development tells a story of sustainability. Each block is solar powered by a central 50 kVA inverter and battery system servicing the individual units. This means that through a smart management system, you are guaranteed power at all times.
These cupboards, as you see them, this is not original. This is not just normal melamine boards. This is plywood, one of the best materials ever to be used in construction. The advantages of plywood, especially if we are using them in kitchens. A kitchen area is a wet area. If we are using the plywood in kitchen areas, this is moisture resistant.
There is an air conditioning system in all apartments using a minimum amount of power where the heat exchanger takes the heat in the normal air and concentrates it, bringing it into the house and vice versa. The energy generated is used to drive the heat to heat the geyser. The whole development is energy sufficient, marking a 70% reduction in energy consumed. This is the first project with full double glazing on all doors and windows. There is a 5mm glass on both sides with a 10mm compressed gap in between the glass. The double glazing controls the temperatures, noise pollution, and also provides safety in the apartments. This is more than housing. The anti-scratch SPC floors are durable for the next 50 years. Cupboards are plywood in the kitchen area, which is moisture resistant, durable, and does not chip off. The color on the carbon crystallized doors doesn't fade because of the permanent PVC film layer. Practical beauty built to endure. On this lifestyle estate, you will find a mini golf course, paddleball court, saunas, steam rooms, swimming pool, gym with techno-fitted equipment, clubhouse, braai facilities, and children's play area. Inside, excellence lives in every corner. Every apartment has a balcony fitted with a gas braai, a kitchen fully fitted with Smeg appliances, dishwashers, microwave, oven, extractor, fridge, taps, sleek, modern, and uniform. It's a lifestyle, one that respects people, community, and the planet. Speaking of respect, there is that aspect of a balance of gender, women empowerment.
This is a brilliant and prestigious project that I've ever seen in Zimbabwe, one of the best.
In terms of investment, Thaton property or 2267 lifestyle estate is the only estate or where you can get a mortgage term for 5 years buying in an exclusive residential estate like this.
I joined the 2267 project when I was under Tomas and Partners, which was previously known as Southland Consulting Engineers. So during this time when we started, we went through the feasibility stages of the project, that is to see how best we can fit all of the blocks that you see here today on site, picking the strategic positioning for the sewer treatment plants. After that, we went through the statutory approvals with Council and Ministry of Transport. For example, the junction that you see as you enter the estate, we were part of that. So I was able to be a part of the design and planning phase of the project, and today I get to be a part of Thaton property and also watch as the project is being implemented.
It has been quite a journey. At the beginning, you look at a project and, in your mind, you convince yourself that, you won't be able to get that project through to completion?
We have discovered that most people can't afford to buy properties in Zimbabwe, once-off payment, and most of the properties, they are very, very expensive. And most clients have to go to banks and get mortgages for them to just purchase a property. But we, as Thaton Property Company, we have come to you and offer the best affordable prices with great installments so as to eradicate the fact that clients have to go and get mortgages. So this is one of the best solutions that we have offered.
Even on investments opportunities, this is the perfect definition of real estate investment, because you only pay 40% deposit in 3 months, then balance over 5 years.
You know, working with a great team, with a great leader, Mr. Ben, you always find yourself, you know, at a point where you just say, wow, we have done it.
Behind this achievement stands a family, men and women working side by side, each one driven by purpose, each one believing in the same dream, to prove that Zimbabwe can build to international standards. They've faced challenges, economic, logistical, environmental, but each obstacle only sharpened their resolve. They built brick by brick, not just structures, but trust, innovation, and pride.
Homes and properties are living spaces. They are places where people get to express themselves either professionally or with their family. And we wanted to capture that when we provide a space solution, it's got to be talking to a person's soul. It's got to be talking to themselves very deeply. After a very amazing career in South Africa, where I had been the business person of the year, given by Absa Bank, the biggest bank in Africa, the Herald newspaper from South Africa, as well as the Nelson Mandela Business School. I'd reached a pinnacle in my career, but everything came down. I lost everything. My businesses were all sequestrated, and I came home to see my parents. And it was probably the best trip I ever took, because I came back and, Zimbabwe has got so many opportunities, so much low-hanging fruit. And I came back with those eyes of an experienced property developer, and I just saw that this is the place of the future. This is the place you want to be. This is the place where you can do projects that really make a difference, that really make an impact in people's lives, projects that touch the theater in everyone.
The issue of affordability for us is not a problem. Most of the people that have bought into our development, without mentioning names, people who are medical doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, retired people who have resources, or children who are working, but we have parents who could put a deposit for them. So affordability has not been our challenge.
In Zimbabwe, our property sector has been set up in a way that access is very easy. Unlike in many other countries, here you buy a stand, and in many instances you can buy a stand for cash. And then you buy your 3/4 stones, your sand, your cement, a few bricks, and you really start building. You get up to foundation level. So the way our market works is getting into property. There are so many sectors. There's high density properties, high density pieces of land. Access is there. So for young people wanting to get into the property sector for the first time, my advice would be go and look at the multiple developments out there. Buy yourself a nice stand, all right? And you can get stands for around $5,000 and even less in some instances. And then you start to build from there, and then you're in the property game. Then you're in the property market. And after that first property, who knows? Next you might be, in Bahrain, and then a few years after that, you eventually end up at a 2267 type project.
We've had to deal with suppliers. Sometimes you go past, the deadlines of payments. But we have formed great relationships, and we are where we are now because, of that management of the finances that we have done. And
that I'm part of this project?
Ever since we started this project, we haven't encountered any challenges with NASA because we've been very compliant right from the get-go. We've been paying religiously all our dues, so we haven't encountered any problems with NASA or any other statutory body.
The challenge that we have faced is the issue of the lack of mortgage finance, especially in Zimbabwe. We do have young people who are working in good jobs, say in the pharmaceutical industries, who could afford to pay a bond. But because the banks do not offer mortgage finance, those people, some of them would have been cut out.
The problems and the challenges were immense. But you know, if it's not challenging, it's probably not worth doing. Zimbabwe is not for the faint-hearted. Zimbabwe is for visionaries, people who can see beyond the immediate challenges or see beyond what the media likes to paint as a very negative picture. I think if you really know where you want to go, you will always find a solution. You will always find a way. Things were difficult. You know, the first big project we did here was the medical specialist center in Belgravia. That project took us 4 years. 4 years we were on site. And we went through multiple currency changes, and it was so difficult. It was so difficult to get to a point of completion. But I suppose at the end of the day, when your product is finished and you can look at it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to kick off our next segment for this evening. Would you kindly take your seats? We're about to start.
You've got, oh my God, you found it. I'm shouting at it.
Let's kindly take our seats, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know if it's a video or a photo.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're starting our program now. And we did say earlier on in the evening that we will be hearing from a lot of important people, people who have a say in the real estate business and the construction business. And right now, we do know and we do respect, as we did see from Shihan earlier, the art of discipline and respect. We are respecting that it is Ramadan in the Muslim community. So our next speaker is the Managing Director at Pam Golding Tourism and Consulting South Africa, and that's Mr. Kamil Abdul Karim. He unfortunately could not be with us this evening, but he does have a few words for us, and we are going to be showing those on the screen. So I will ask you to pay your attention onto the screens this evening from Mr. Kamil Abdul Karim.
Good evening all, and congratulations Ben on this exciting event. Wish I could see the audience. Thank you for affording Pam Golding the opportunity to say a few words on the Connaught. The term service apartment is traditionally used to describe an apartment alternative to hotel accommodation for both short and long stay leisure or business travels. The concept represents an accommodation alternative between traditional hotel accommodation and long-term leasing or ownership of property. The Connaught Luxury Residence provides a needed product in the Zimbabwean and Greater South African context. The lack of upmarket serviced apartment complexes can reduce the appeal of a city in attracting larger corporate, diplomatic, and non-governmental offices, while the amenity and lifestyle profile of the Connaught is in line with regional and global changes in the demand profile of tenants. The positioning, finishes, amenity profile, and lifestyle offering of the development of this nature would likely create a new icon for Harare. The luxury upmarket positioning of the development affords access to lucrative local and regional markets that are currently underserved, and also opens the Zimbabwe residential market to regional and international investment. There are extremely few apartment providers positioned at this level in the country. Offices for blue chip corporates, multinational NGO operations, and diplomatic missions prefer options in this positioning along with the underserviced local VIP high net worth individual market. The Connaught features upmarket serviced apartments, virtual office space, and eatery and retail service in the form of an upmarket convenience store, along with 2 wellness-related services in the gym and spa. The apartments will furthermore provide a captive market for the eatery and retail service. The components work together to provide an overall lifestyle offering for residents and the city at large. Services all work together to provide a live, work, play, host environment for residents, meaning they can access a boutique of upmarket services in a single location which greatly increases the convenience factor and provides a workable but highly appealing lifestyle choice. Developments such as the Connaught Luxury Residence can expand the residential market for Harare. The position and lifestyle offering could potentially attract the digital nomad market. These professionals are free to work anywhere in the world and spend a few months to a couple of years in a particular location before moving on. However, this market is generally demanding on the quality of the product and services on offer. Connaught Luxury Residence comes with a focus on sustainability, incorporating a strong focus on greenery across the general design. This, combined with other sustainability measures such as green technologies and operational practices, will bolster the brand of the residence as upmarket residential developments place great emphasis on sustainability. Such practices would also reduce operating costs over time while maintaining the appeal of the building into the future. Developments such as Connaught Luxury Residence can serve as icons for Harare, broadening its appeal to corporate, diplomatic missions, global NGOs, and residents. This even extends to the tourism market, where such developments tend to convey a sense of evolution and development in the city. Such a development could even serve as an anchor for future development, given the interest it would generate from various sectors of the economy. The developer, Ben, has done luxury developments in the past, and this is clearly reflected in the attention to detail throughout the design and finishes of the Connaught. From our side, Pam Golding is excited to be part of this project, and congratulations, Ben, and your team on the launch of the Connaught. Thank you.
That was Mr. Camille Abdul Karim, who's the Managing Director at Pam Golding Tourism and Consulting South Africa. But in our midst tonight, we also do have representatives from Pam Golding. They are our partners within this project that we are launching, the Connaught Luxury Residence. So I just call on you to just stand, rise where you are, so that we can acknowledge you for being our partners as well in this evening. You can stand, Julie. There we go. A round of applause for the Pam Golding team that will be handling some of your agreements of sales as well. We are also in partnership with Nest Properties. Fern, are you around? Where are you, Fern? There she is. That's Nest Properties. They are also our partners in this great, great endeavor. But we do know that we have been speaking about boldness, we've been speaking about courage, excellence, discipline throughout the evening. And we are joined by a bold force. I like to call her that. And I'm very interested in the field that she represents. She is flying the Zim flag high with excellence in the form of film and visuals. So I do know that most of us are going to relate to that. I know I definitely am relating to that. And I'm going to call up our next speaker, who is Kudakwashe Kudi Maradzika. She is a director, film producer, a writer. She's produced a film that is on Netflix. Let's give a round of applause for that one. Netflix. Well done, Kudi. I'll call you up now. Come on up. Another round of applause. There we go.
Good evening, distinguished guests, partners, and friends. It is an honor to stand here with you tonight at the official launch at the Connaught Luxury Residence. As she mentioned, my name is Kudi Maradzika, and I've been a creative in the film and television industry for 15 years and created a show which was #3 globally on Netflix, which is Bad Influencer. Please do watch it. Thank you. So I am, wow, okay, it's behind me, I didn't see that. I am a creative at heart, and I believe that creativity is in everything. And if you look for it hard enough, you will find it. Architecture is creativity expressed in physical form. There are moments when a building is just a building, and there are moments when a building becomes a statement. Tonight is definitely the latter. Because the Connaught is not simply a place to live, it is a declaration about belief and ambition, and what happens when people decide that excellence is not something to aspire to one day, but something to insist on now. Across Africa, and especially in Zimbabwe, we come from a legacy of builders. Long before glass towers and gated estates, our ancestors were shaping environments that reflected order, ingenuity, and vision. The stone walls of Great Zimbabwe were not only functional, they were an expression of power, organization, and confidence in the future. That same spirit lives inside projects like the Connaught. What excites me about this development and about what Thaton stands for is that it places African excellence where it belongs, not as an afterthought or a decoration, but as an actual foundation. What stands here tonight is more than just luxury. It is confidence made visible. It is proof that world-class standards are not foreign to us. They are ours to define, ours to execute, and ours to own. Because luxury is not really about finishes or square meters. It's about intention, and it's about saying that our environments should reflect the value we place on ourselves, our work, and our future. And perhaps what makes this moment especially powerful is who is behind it. The development represents a generation of Zimbabweans who are done waiting for permission to shape industries. A generation that understands that if we want cities that reflect our ambition, then we must be the ones bold enough to build them. Because buildings speak. They speak to investors about confidence. They speak to residents about dignity. They speak to young people about what they are allowed to imagine for themselves. And when we build boldly, we expand what others believe is possible. Tonight, this space becomes more than a residence. It becomes a marker in a larger story, a story of Zimbabweans pushing boundaries and insisting on creating work that stands shoulder to shoulder with the best in the world. Not later, now. To everyone who imagined this project, Ben and your incredible team, and to those who financed the project, designed it, carried it to this moment, everyone involved, you have done the most. Congratulations. Give yourselves a round of applause. And to everyone who is here tonight, may the Connaught remind us that the future of our cities, of our industries, and our identity will never be handed to us, because it will be built by us. Thank you.
Our great city, our great cities will definitely be built by us. We are still on that topic of boldness. It takes boldness and courage, especially for Zimbabweans, to come back. If you know your relatives out there, come back. We've got so much to offer and so much to give because of what really is up our sleeves. Our next speaker, I'm going to call upon Honorable Supa Mandiwanzira, who's the Secretary for Local Government and Housing, and he's going to give us a few words this evening. A round of applause as he comes up.
Good evening, everyone. In fact, I need to correct a few words is not correct. Actually, I'm kidding. Let me, first of all, recognize the chairman of Thaton Property, Mr. Ben Nyaumwe, and your amazing team at Thaton Property for the great work and the amazing stuff that we have seen here, and also of the groundbreaking project that we are all here to witness the official takeoff, which is the Connaught Luxury Residence. There's a bit of confusion about my title, because as we were walking around during the break, some people are asking me, are you now with the Ministry of Local Government? And I was trying to explain that, no, I'm not with the Minister of Local Government. I'm with the Parliament of Zimbabwe as Member of Parliament. And I am with the ruling party, ZANU-PF, as Secretary for Local Government and National Housing. And now, they didn't want to ask, but I want to respond to the question they were afraid to ask, which one is more important? The party is the one that deploys government. So we at the party, at the Politburo level, are the ones who deploy the ministers to deliver on our policies at ZANU-PF. So at this juncture, it is actually critical that those in business, those who want to engage seriously with government, must engage with ZANU-PF so that it can influence policy change in terms of what government eventually does. What government does is coming from the party. So we have to influence what the party thinks, how the party thinks, and how the party formulates policy. So you have to engage at that level. I know for most business people in Zimbabwe, it's kind of very difficult to engage with ZANU-PF, or afraid to engage with ZANU-PF, or you're embarrassed to engage with ZANU-PF. Well, in South Africa, business people engage with the ANC. In the USA, they engage with the Republicans. Some of the biggest donors in the global politics are the business people. So we ought to come out of this problem of Zimbabweans of being fearful of politicians. Because if we are fearful, tongo ita to ita, and sometimes it doesn't help the business interests. So the engagement is absolutely necessary and important. So this is why I want to acknowledge Ben's invitation of myself to come here and be the guest of honor tonight. I want to recognize also some very important people I've seen in the room. I may not be able to mention all of you by name, but I've seen some very distinguished business people, very distinguished members of our society. Mkoma Nigel, who's here, and Madam, I have great respect for you, and it's befitting that you are here. Mkoma Nigel is one of our pioneers. And let me say something very briefly. The First Republic under President Robert Mugabe was very effective in educating Zimbabweans, was very effective in giving confidence to Zimbabweans to believe in themselves. And during that period, we saw significant rise of people like Mkoma Nigel, people like Julius Makoni, Gideon Gono, who became leading names in our banking sector. But at some point, I think the leadership was afraid of wealth, black wealth, and there wasn't enough support, and that generation was not seen through or supported enough. Under the Second Republic, the confidence, the belief in ourselves that was given to us under the First Republic, under the Second Republic, is being brought to life in terms of economic expression. Under the leadership of President Mnangagwa, support for business is unlimited. Ideas are welcomed. Opportunity is being unveiled to everybody. Hence the saying, Zimbabwe is open for business. It is these kind of projects that demonstrate that that policy is working. And I was listening to Ben as he was talking about his story, how he did all in South Africa, lost all in South Africa, but decided, I'm going to restart the journey home. And of course, he came back and he was welcomed, and the opportunities have really opened up for him. And this is what the Second Republic is, how it is defining its mandate and its role in our economy, to allow our people to be themselves in the spaces that they choose to be, and give them as much support without the tendency, without the syndrome to pull each other down. And we must acknowledge and applaud President Mnangagwa's attitude generally as a person, that he wants to see people make money, as he always says. So, you know, I feel greatly honored and proud to stand here, because my background is that of black economic empowerment. We were some of the foot soldiers in saying, we want our own people to have more space in the economic space. And we want government to use its pen to allow for those opportunities to go to our own people, to give our people an advantage as opposed to smiling at the foreign investors and frowning at the local investors. And I'm very proud tonight that we have one of our own who's not just doing things, but doing things in an extraordinary fashion, building something that is remarkable. And as we saw the presentation from the architect, that's exactly what Zimbabweans are buying, some openly, some clandestinely, in Dubai. And frankly speaking, I had dinner with some of my friends from Russia who are here tonight. I don't know where Malik is, and Andre and Vlad, they're somewhere in the audience. And they were saying, you know, as a person, where do you prefer to put your money? If you make a lot of money, where do you invest? I said, there's no other place I would feel safe putting my money other than in Zimbabwe. Because there's no other place, whether I've committed crime, whether there's chaos in this country, there's no other place I can run to, because this is the only place I know. So therefore, I feel safer putting my money in this country. And we have now fantastic opportunities of where to put our money. I was invited during the break to be on Carpet Talk Live, and they're broadcasting from here live. And they were asking, you know, what message do you have for Zimbabweans about the project that's taking place here, the launch that's taking place here tonight? And I said, you know, I know many Zimbabweans in the UK, in North America, in Australia, in other places, who have been building properties remotely. A lot of them have built fantastic properties, and a lot of them have lost a lot of money because they trust other people to do projects for them. Now, when you now have developers like Thaton Property, whose credibility, integrity is clearly demonstrated with what we are seeing around us, you now have an opportunity to come and pay $79,000 or $115,000 or just under $200,000 to have a 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, or a bed-sitter, without the headache of, you know, mariacho yasvika here, haina kumboshandiswa here, haina kumbopinzwa mumadhiri here, majeti mwana ndombotenga gold, ndombospina. But here is an opportunity to just put money in a project where you know your property is going to be available. So I was asked again by another interviewer. They were asking me, you know, they're saying affordability is not an issue. But given the prices that we have been given, what do you think about the statement by Ben that says affordability is not an issue on this project and other projects? And I said, you know, in the context of the Zimbabwean economy today, that is a true statement, that affordability is not an issue. $79,000 for a property which will grow in value. $115,000 for a 1-bedroom property that will grow in value. And just under $200,000 for a 2-bedroom property. Am I correct? $175,000 for a 2-bedroom property. It's not even a kg of gold today. 79,000 is half a kg. You need just 500 grams to afford this property. I'm being honest with you. This is the reality. And while we are seated here, kune vafana vakazara madhaka vari pasi pemugodhi, so ari kubuda ne500 grams dzake, but ari kunofidha mombe dzepa growth point macabbage, because asati aziva kuti kune Thaton Property gonagona kuinvesta ikoko. So the market is huge for this. In fact, we are not even in the market because dzinogona kungopera dzese dzimba idzi nemakorokoza, because they can afford it. It hasn't dawned on many Zimbabweans that the opportunity of gold is a real opportunity. Today, gold is probably $164,000 a kg. $164,000 a kg. That kg is accessible to some guy who's never gone to university, who's never been outside to Harare, outside our country, and they're making that 1 kg in 1 week. So our economy is transforming, and this, what you are doing, will open up huge opportunities for those that are in the mining space and that are doing mining and other businesses that are now growing as a result of what our economy is doing. So I'm here to officially launch this amazing product, the Connaught Luxury Residence, and to declare that this is what this country has been waiting for. Zimbabweans who have left this country, who have gained experience, who have seen what others can do, who have come back with the same attitude to say, if South Africans can do it for South Africa, if the Emiratis can do it for their own country, we can come back and do the same for our country. Very proud of Ms. Maradzika and the great success she has achieved. With this kind of Netflix success, they will be sitting somewhere in Hollywood or somewhere in Dubai. But that you come home to celebrate this kind of projects is remarkable. And we ought to now call upon all Zimbabweans across the board and to say, let's come back and build our country and support each other. You know, I see what happens in our economy. A Chinese company wins a big contract to do a road. Many locals can supply granite. Many locals can supply food. Many locals can supply cement or other things. But they will identify another Chinese who is in that space in order to give support to that Chinese because they believe in themselves, in their communities. And there's nothing wrong with that. The Jewish community does the same. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I go to, my constituency is Nyanga South. When you're arriving in Nyanga, Juliusdale area, there's a small place on your left that does pizza and they sell flowers and stuff there. Nothing remarkable, nothing exciting about that place. But about a few kilometers before that, there's a black guy who has built some nice roadside facility to compete with that one. Apana no mira pe mutema. They all go and crowd at this up. He's my neighbor, and I always talk about it with him. He's a fowler, and I always say, you know, I admire how white people support each other. And isusu sevanu atema toda utera zvinhu varungu so. Zvikanzi development yaitwa nemurungu. Tese tikati mqueue da kutenga so. Asi zvikanzi vaitwa na Ben azvobudera komani. Well, I don't think that question is necessary today because zviri kubuda. And I'm very proud because I'm also an investor in this project. When Ben says, "Dara we utenge ma property," and I doubt all. Ben, you talk zochita zvema club. To be honest, you know, my interface with Ben was in the entertainment space because I'm in the entertainment space with ZFM and other radio stations. So that's where we knew each other. But when he told me he's in the property development, I said, like, Ben, honestly, I like what you're doing if you are doing that, but I wasn't confident. But when he says, go to this place, and I came and I saw what was happening, I said, this is the man to support. So tonight I just want to say to you, this is the man to support. And let's not just support by words. Let's support by doing. In my honest view, if we believe in ourselves, we should be able to believe in each other. And then we must begin to build an economy that saves ourselves, that makes sure that the guy who's doing the bricks is the guy you know who's going to supply you. The guy who's doing the quarry, the guy who's supplying the cement, we are all growing with each other. You know why people are bitter in our country? It's because one is saying they are a big. That's why people get angry. And don't make money and make everybody angry. Make money and make everybody happy because you are sharing part of that money. And that's how you grow and become a bigger economy. And if we can do that in the construction space, I think we will have done a big thing for our country because construction has a huge impact. That's when we can make a change. We can create much more employment in construction. We can created many downstream industries as a result of the construction. So tonight, I just want to congratulate Thaton Property and say what you are doing is exactly what His Excellency President Emmerson Mnangagwa is expecting Zimbabweans to do. Don't let these opportunities be grabbed by other people, grab them. There's a reason why Zimbabwe is most exciting at the moment. I don't want to mention any countries, but within the region, there are countries that are going to where we were, and we are coming from there. And investors are beginning to say, hang on a minute, Zimbabwe is coming from there, so let's go to Zimbabwe because they are now on an upward trend. And it so happens that those economies were the great economies in the region. So we're going to have an influx. And if we don't take those opportunities ourselves, they're going to be taken by others. And we have to wake up and take those opportunities ourselves. And like Ben has done with his great team. I'm very proud of the team that you have built of professionals. And you have professionalized your operation. And that's what is important. Quality is determined by the professionals that you have within you. And this is what you have done extremely well on. And congratulations. I know that everybody here wants me to talk about 2030. And I'm going to talk about 2030. In that we want business to continue to trade in US dollars beyond 2030. Because right now, Ben is giving us 4 years to pay because he's afraid of the 2030 decision by the Reserve Bank that you cannot continue to have our currency by then. And the Reserve Bank, in many interactions, and some of the interactions I've been there with Nigel, they've said, no, don't look at the date. It's going to be a process when we introduce the local currency. But the date is still hanging. And that's why Ben is saying, we can only give you until 2030 to pay off your loan. So we think that if there can be some adjustment, gives flexibility, you can give people more than 4 years to pay in US dollar towards paying off their mortgage. That's the only 2030 I can talk about. I have a speech here that I was supposed to read. I don't think I should read it, but I've summarized it. So I wish to thank you for listening. And at this juncture, may I officially declare that the Connaught luxury residences have been officially launched. I thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Honorable, your speech really uplifted me. I'm a proud Zimbabwean. I've been home. If I go abroad, I can't spend more than 2 weeks. I come back home, no matter what it is. And thank you so much for that wonderful reminder. Our Zimbabwe is full of riches. It's full of greatness. And even at Thaton, we really look at every little detail. And the details that we are into is making sure that your money is safe. But you know what? We actually have that on lock right here at Thaton Property. And we are partners with Titan Law. And they are going to come up and just give us a few words of how your money is going to be safe when you do invest in this wonderful luxury residence. And please note, the operative word I said here is when. So we are waiting for your signatures on these agreements of sale. I will call up Calvin Sabao, who is he's the representative really of Titan Law, which is the firm that's going to be taking care of our finances. A round of applause as he comes up.
All protocols observed. Honorable Super Mandwanzira, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I've been given a hard task to address an audience after the guest of honor has spoken, so I'll try to be brief in my speech. As mentioned, I'm Kelvin Sabao. I am a partner and the head of conveyancing and real estate development at Thaton Law. It is truly an honor to stand before you tonight as we celebrate the launch of the Connaught Luxury Residence, a development that represents vision, excellence, and a bold statement about the future of premium living. Just to mention a little bit about Thaton Law. Thaton Law was established in 2004 by the senior partner, Mr. Gerald Molochwa. And over the years, the firm has grown in leaps and bounds. From inception, the firm has been built on excellence, integrity, and professional precision. Today, it stands as one of the respected law firms in Zimbabwe, with a strong footprint in conveyancing and real estate development. We are proud to be the designated conveyancers for this remarkable project. Our role is simple, but critically important, to ensure that when you invest here, your investment is secured by, or protected by a secure, legally compliant, and properly registered sectional title. We understand that you are not purchasing simply bricks and mortar. You are investing in certainty, security, and legacy. Our responsibility is to safeguard that investment by overseeing the sectional title registration process with precision, transparency, and professionalism, so that each of you, when you walk away with your keys in hand, you also walk away with a sectional title deed. This project is not just another development. It will change the face of Avondale. It represents urban renewal, sophistication, and a new standard of residential excellence in this prime location. We are committed to making the transfer process seamless, efficient, and trustworthy, because your confidence in this project matters. On behalf of Thaton Law, we thank you for your trust and look forward to serving you as you become proud owners of the Connaught Luxury Residence. Thank you. And just to add on, the agreements of sale are ready, so please make sure you see the Thaton property team. Thank you.
A round of applause for Mr. Calvin Sabao. See, he just really explained that. We're going to take care of your finances, guys. We are ready for it all. We're getting closer to the end of our event this evening, and I do know some of you are hungry, and some of you, I know you are hungry, ma'am. I'm pointing at my sister. I can do that. I'm the youngest one, so I'm allowed to pick on her. So at the end of the day, we're going to get straight into our next part, and I'm going to call up Engineer Farai. He's going to come up and close the evening for us, but before he does, my name is Marissa Marinda. So, Honorable, you were talking about, young people speaking well. My events are my. Thank you so much. That's my way of advertising who I am. I'm an MC. I will come and do your hosts, and I'm so honored to be a part of Thaton Property, who have acknowledged what I can do and have allowed me to facilitate for this fantastic, phenomenal event this evening. So without further ado, I will call up Engineer Farai, who's going to come and do the vote of thanks, give a speech, and then close the evening and allow us to go and eat. Over to you, Engineer.
Thank you, Marissa. I'd like to thank everyone who has given a presentation today. It's been really brilliant. Honorable, that was amazing. I really enjoyed that. I don't know if I call it a speech or motivation. My name is Farai Mkwembi. I'm a structural engineer. Responsible for the design of the Connaught Luxury Residence, both the civil and structural engineering design. I'm here to talk about the construction program. But before that, I would like to acknowledge the great work that has been done by the team. To date, we've been able to get all statutory approvals, the development permit, Trimo. Thank you very much. Also, we've been able to get the environmental impact assessment certificates and the council approvals. This means we will officially start, we will break ground on the 1st of May, 2026. And our construction is going to be for 18 months, and we will officially give you your keys on the 1st of December, 2027. We believe in delivering quality. Quality is what we believe in. For you to see this, I would like to call upon all the Thaton team members to stand up. Once again, sorry guys. Sounds like a schoolboy assembly, huh? Okay. Guys, these guys are going to be your tour guides today. We are going to look at 2 blocks that we've completed and are ready, Block B and C. They will show you around, tell you more about what we do, how we do it. But most of all, we want to demonstrate to you that what we put on renders, what you see around you, we also put it in real life. So if you could kindly go not more than 10 people per tour guide to allow us to be able to appreciate and understand what product we are going to give you. This is just a snippet of what the cornot is going to look like. So please, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you everyone for coming. Please feel free to grab food and drink. Sorry guys, you can sit down. Sorry. Please feel free to get food and drink. And thank you everyone for coming. Thank you for your time. Thank you, and God bless.
See, I love the mic so much, I just had to have the last say. I forgot to say that you can stay put inside because it has been raining and it is a little bit wet outside, so the food is going to be served to you as you are inside the tents as well. So you can make sure that you tell the waiter your order for your drink and they will be bringing you some food for you to enjoy. That's the last say. Have a fantastic evening and thank you so much for joining us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, one more announcement. There is a car, AGI 2336. AGI 2336. You are blocking the way. People want to move and you are blocking the ways. That's AGI 2336. Have a pleasant evening.